The second question from the Board of the Chamber of Commerce. The last time that Kau had a sustainable economy was when sugar was the driving force. Agriculture has historically been at the center of the culture and the lifeblood of the economy in Kau. How would you stimulate and promote agricultural ventures? Guy?
Thank you. In the past, when you mentioned sugarcane, the reason sugarcane was successful is because they had water. And just like the business here in Ocean View, if ag is going to be a reality, you've got to have water. We've had some really successful farmers that are struggling today. Mr. Hester, have you ever had Hester corn? Best corn in the world, right? Grown in Bahama. All his fruit, if you go to Na'ale fruit stand, the market on Wednesday, or Volcano, he is the biggest selling farmer there is. And he's gone out of business because he doesn't have water. Mr. Ed Olson, who has a reservoir and a line to one of the tunnels, is struggling because he does not have water. Water is the lifeblood for agriculture here. Now, if we want to build agriculture in this district, we've got to tap into the federal funds to get money to assist our farmers to dig into the tunnels that are above our hills, which have water flowing out of them and into the ground right today. But we can't get to it. I just was at a meeting all day long with the state ag people, and they literally said, look, we need to help these people. All we need to do is give you right of entry, and we got to connect to these tunnels, but it's got to be fixed. Mr. Olson has enough pocket money that he can fix his one. But our normal farmers, like the coffee farmers who are struggling today, and anybody who would try to farm in this day would have a problem if they don't have water. So my biggest issue with creating ag, again, is water. And the sources is the tunnels above Pahala, which the plantation tapped in, but it's been let go. So the plan I would consider is to find the funds on the federal grants that are available and coming down from the Obama money, so that we can put the pipelines into these tunnels, but we're going to have to work together to tap into these tunnels, because so a lot of them has fallen apart. I walked into several of them to experience it, and it is scary, very scary. But the sources of water is there. We just not have been able to tap into them. So we are working towards that water. Coffee farmer right now is the biggest place we got. We have the best coffee in the world competition cup right here in Kau. All we need is to get these farmers to work together. Right now they're facing the same problems as Kona. They're all trying to fend for themselves. But until we come together, okay, and Mr. Olson is putting a mill now so they don't have to take their coffee over to Kona. But until we can bring these farmers together, we can't go after the larger markets, because a 5-acre farmer cannot support a Starbucks. You need these guys to come together because we have the coffee, but we have to consolidate our actions, work with each other. Again, teamwork. I think then we can make ourselves very productive with water and existing coffee. So, thank you.
Thank you, Guy. The next question deals with infrastructure. Infrastructure and lack thereof is a major problem throughout District 6. Water supply, waste facilities, and roads are often inadequate, non-existent, or poorly maintained. In this regard, Kau has largely been at the back of the line or ignored entirely in county government. How would your election improve this situation? I guess we ended with you, so we'll start with you again. Guy?
I think I've proven that my time in office have shown the projects that I'm able to do. And again, I refer back to this because I'm very proud of this list. This is a list greater than the 10 years of the previous council. Because, as the question states over here, you got to be able to work with the mayor and the council and the mayor's administration to get the projects done. We never got projects done, in my personal belief, in the past, because we weren't able to work with them. They were constantly fighting with the mayor, and we got their projects. Our projects, if there were any, were put at the bottom of the list. These projects occurred because they're willing to help. It just doesn't happen overnight. Now, infrastructure here, again, I'm going to have to approach our mayor and say, look, we have A and G who can come in here and put a second well. They're willing to do that. They're willing to build our shelter. One of the big things I'm going after is a shelter for this area. Now, we've tried already. We had $6 million floating around and it just disappeared. Okay, so I was able to get through the civil defensive grant $400,000 earmarked for a design of our shelter at Kahuku Park. But who's going to build it? And this is where A&G can come in. And I'm hoping that my November 9th meeting with the mayor and Master Sergeant Stoyer will convince our mayor that we need to go to bonds to create this money so we can build this, because it's the cheapest we'll ever get. When somebody else doing it for free, we just put the materials together. Infrastructure, again, big thing for me. This is what the county can actually do. Public safety, health, and infrastructure. Right now, our one center for solid waste, our Wahino one, is falling apart. It is a major safety issue. So I have been just working with the mayor in this last month to put in $8.8 million to fix this particular project down at our center down here, the transfer station. Now, why there and not here? Because we're at a dead end here. Otherwise, I'd put it right here. I'd put the $8.8 million, put it here where our population is. But I don't want to miss out on this money. So we're putting it into, it's earmarked for these kind of things down at Waiahino. And what we're looking at is a commercial dump. There's only two places where commercial businesses can dump their rubbish. That's Hilo and Kona. So this one will be a commercial with a state-of-the-art recycling. $8.8 million. This is what we're going to hopefully pass in our next, I'm going to bring it to in resolution form at the end of this month. So hopefully that'll generate some work for us. It puts money in our district and something gets done. Otherwise, we can pass it up and wait till however long this thing sits until we can solve the issue with our transfer station here. And again, rather than pass it up, I thought if we would use it while it's available to us, putting money into our district by working with our administration and the department heads, as well as our council, because I need our council to pass these things.
Question from the board and the chamber, then we'll go to the questions from the audience and Chamber of Commerce members. Lack of jobs results in many societal problems in our district. A survey of employment that was done as part of the Ka'u CDP, looking at specifically employment and where people were employed, found that some 2,600 adult residents of Ka'u were employed, but slightly under 500 of those jobs were in Ka'u. Now, there's a little dispute as to how accurate those figures are, but it's clear that there is a major problem with somewhere in the range of 80% of people who are employed traveling outside of the district, largely to Kona or Hilo. Now, one result that we will see, is a loss of our youth who are forced to leave Ka'u due to the lack of jobs, which eventually is going to lead to a decline in our culture over time. Do you see any solution to this problem? Guy.
In regards to job, I think we have to be very, very diversified. But one of my first pet peeves for me personally, since I'm in sports, is to work on the new gym for our high school. And it's just a wait and see now, with the help of Mr. Herkes, Mr. Kokoboon, our mayor, and a trip up to see Daniel Inouye. We have $18 million sitting, waiting for us, for the governor to release, to start work on the gym. I mean, to me, that's huge. In 2 years, we're able to get this money sitting at the governor's hands, and we've seen how it sits with the $6 million for our shelter. So my goal is to wait for whoever the next governor is and get them to release the money, because when they do that, it'll bring instant jobs right away. But not more than that, not just the jobs, but I think it'll bring a sense of pride to Ka'u. I mean, look around. When was the last time we've ever had anything really built for us? You know, and the kids. And I went to school on a sports scholarship. So I see the value in sports. I make a living in sports. So this is something I hope to give back. So all it takes right now, we've done the work. The money is there. We just got to get the right people in who will allocate that money. But in forms of jobs, we really have to take advantage of the thousands of tourists daily that go by our streets right here. We have to tap into that. And we've got to get them to stay at our bed and breakfasts. Or maybe even consider a small hotel. But if they just pass by in the day, they can't stop at all the places that we have to offer. Whether it's agriculture, the coffee mill, South Point, Volcano, or Kahuku Park that we just have up here. We've got to get them to stay here, whether it's bed and breakfast or a small hotel. Get them to stay and take advantage of those tourists. We also have our ag lands, as we talked about. I'm negotiating with a company that will possibly bring in some jobs, maybe up to 300 jobs in the area of biofuels. We're negotiating with the larger landowners right now and to see how many of them are willing to give up certain portions of land. Because we don't want to give up all of our land. We need to keep some land for farming. We need to keep some land for coffee, for ranchers, and for potential businesses come in. We must diversify. I don't think we can throw our, like we did with sugarcane, throw our eggs all in one basket. We got to spread them out. So with ag, some tourism, and maybe even ecotourism, you know, all those things are options which we must tap in. But I think the big ones that we're letting go right now is the tourists that walk by here and stop at the volcanoes. They could be stopping right here. They could be staying in our B&Bs. They could be staying in a little hotel and then taking a day trip to South Point. How great would that be? A day trip to Kahuku up here. How great would that be? There's a lot of people that I know would do that. But right now, they have no place to stay. And I'm very interested to help our B&Bs to say, how do we stop these people in Kahuku? So as far as businesses and jobs, diversified jobs, tap into all the resources that are available to us.
Thank you, Jack.